Hello all, this is Halloween, and if you love costumes and Halloween as much as I do, you may want to subscribe because I'm going to be showing you how to make awesome costumes without breaking the bank, maybe even using some items you already have at home. For today's costume, I'm going to be doing one of Robin Williams' most beloved characters, Mrs. Doubtfire, from the 1994 classic, Mrs. Doubtfire. Let's get started. Alright, so here we have Mrs. Doubtfire. I bought a lace front wig and I just went ahead and styled it myself. I wanted to have a lace front wig. It's not quite the color of her hair. It's a little whiter. She was more of a blonde mixed with gray, but I think it's going to look good. Just because of the lace front, it's going to look more natural. I got a pink cardigan sweater. Actually looks just like the one she wore in the movie. You were with me when I bought this. If you were with me on my first shop with me video is when I think I bought this plaid skirt for Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, that came from Goodwill. I bought a mask. This is a foam mask, a very lightweight mask. I don't know how it's all gonna look together. I've never done this costume before. These masks are pretty pricey because they're professional quality. I bought a pair of glasses, some compression hose. These are just some brown shoes I picked up at the Goodwill again. I liked the style of them. You know, she kind of wore a brown heel. I have a brooch, just a regular white shirt, and a fat suit. And that's it. That's Mrs. Doubtfire. So let's get started with our makeup. It's makeup time. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous about today's look. I've only been an old lady once before. I was the Queen of England, Elizabeth. That was like last year. And I've only used a foam mask one time before. And it wasn't even on me. And actually, looking at it, it may have even been the same mask. So I've bought this one before, and they're not cheap. The thing about it is, I'm not sure how much it's gonna look like Mrs. Doubtfire, but I'm gonna really try and make it look like that, if I can. You cannot find a Mrs. Doubtfire mask that's actually Mrs. Doubtfire. They don't really make those. And if they do have them, you're buying it from a professional store that's going to charge you hundreds of dollars for a mask to have the legitimate, you know, the actual face of Mrs. Doubtfire. So the first thing obviously I'm going to do is I've got to glue this mask on. As far as the makeup goes, it's just regular makeup. It's an old lady, you know, so it's just makeup. Maybe a little eyeshadow, some blush, you know, things like that. No big deal. And for applications like this, you want to have a good amount of spirit gum, and it's going all over. So this will be fun later. No, for spirit gum remover, if your spirit gum doesn't come with its own remover, any kind of mineral oil, baby oil, I have a hair oil that I use, that I put in my hair. I use that sometimes to get it off. Oil gets it off. I'm not going over my nose because the nose is cut out. I'm just going everywhere else. Go around my chin and mouth. I'm waiting till the last minute to do this costume because I've been kind of like dreading it a little bit. I just hope I can pull it off so that it looks a little like Mrs. Doubtfire. I was watching this morning they did a stage performance or like a Broadway, Doubtfire on Broadway or something. I didn't like it. I don't really like it. I'm not a big fan of Broadway anyway. I don't really do Broadway musicals and stuff like that. See, I was thinking I may have stretched it down a little too much. So I gotta get up in here so I can fasten it down there. It's gonna be a little bit of work making this look like Mrs. Doubtfire. She wasn't ugly, you know. She wasn't really an ugly old lady. She was a very attractive old lady. So, but I also needed like a little bit fatter of a face, you know. She was kind of a big lady. I didn't have a lot of faith that I could make myself look like Mrs. Doubtfire. So I bought this thing here. Yeah, this might be the one that I bought. My ex-husband and I went as Dracula from Bram Stoker's Dracula and Lucy. I might just cut that part off, I don't know. Woo, this is gonna be work, girl. I didn't like the way that the forehead looked, so I went ahead and cut that off. Now, once you have these foam masks, you can manipulate them however you want. And I didn't like, the forehead was just too old, you know? Like I said, she's a nice looking older lady. So I just cut the foam off the forehead. And now I'm just securing it down where I need it to be secure. I cut some of the edge off here. I'll show in a picture above which mask I ordered. I actually have a picture of it right here. It's this one, and I just ordered it online. Now, I know you may not have time to order online, anything online, so whatever you have to do. I mean, Halloween's this weekend, so everything you have to do it now. But you don't necessarily have to use a mask for this. I just kind of chose to. You can do all makeup. And there are some really cool tips online. Like, for one is using Elmer's glue to make it look like you have wrinkles. I did that when I did the Queen. There's just all kinds of cool tips you can do. Look online and see what you can find. But there's so many costumers and makeup artists and stuff online that you can look up and, you know, to try and do your makeup to make it look like an older lady. And this obviously could be a costume for a man or a woman. Because, I mean, technically Mrs. Doubtfire was both, right? Dude looked like a lady. I hate that my hairs are just like, This stuff always gets in my hair. There's no getting away from that. For me. I got a little liquid latex I'm going to use to blend. Hopefully I have enough. I was going to buy some more of this, but I wasn't even sure if I was going to do Mrs. Doubtfire. Sometimes things are just last minute. I got to kind of do what I can. So right now I'm using the liquid latex just to blend the lines. And I will be using foundation to blend everything once it's dry. Just regular makeup, you know, after I get this on. And I hope it looks good. Man, I miss Robin Williams. Like, what a great actor. I don't feel like any of us really got closure from his departure. I don't know if this is a rumor, but I actually heard that he had Parkinson's. Or he was diagnosed with Parkinson's and, like, couldn't live with that news. So he decided not to live with that news. But I don't know if that's true. It's just something that I heard. It is a horrible illness, Parkinson's. My stepdad has it, and you can live with it for a long time is the thing. And it just cripples you. And Muhammad Ali had it. You can imagine being so great, you know, great fighter, and then all of a sudden just not being able to move. Not all of a sudden, he suffered with it for 30 years. Muhammad Ali, he suffered with it for 30 years. And my stepdad's had it for at least 10 or 15. So yeah, just blending. Blending. I'm probably gonna have to cut a little bit over here too. I was going to try and make my nose a little bigger too, using the Ben Nye Nose and Scar Wax. She had kind of a big nose. He had kind of a big nose. She had kind of a big nose. Alright. This doesn't work, I'll just take it off and no big deal. I did end up using this too when I did the Queen. She doesn't really have a big nose, just kind of a different shape, so. I also used this when I was doing Nosferatu. Now he does have he's got a long nose. And this is just like a putty. I did put some spirit gum on my nose before I started messing with this. I think the glasses will cover, you know, some of it. I'm almost out of nose and scar wax. I don't know what I used it all for. I think maybe The Exorcist. Reagan from The Exorcist. I think I used some for that. Alright, it looks a hot mess right now. I had to go off camera to shape my nose because that takes a while, you know. Just getting it to the right shape that I want it took a little bit. I know it looks kind of crazy, but maybe once we put this, foundation on, it'll all blend together and look good. So, let's see. It's blending it pretty good. Yeah, I think taking the forehead off was the best thing there to do, for sure. The nose putty's being a little wonky. But what I'm doing now is I'm just putting foundation over the whole thing, so everything blends together. I had to adjust the lighting a bit so you can see a little bit better how everything's coming together. It does look better than it looks on camera, I believe. So I think I'm happy with it. It's definitely different than what I'm used to doing. So gonna do some eyebrows here, and I'll show you once I have the glasses on. There's a couple more parts I'm gonna glue down a little better, maybe add a little bit more of the liquid latex around the mouth, and it should be good. Let's see what it looks like with the glasses real quick. Oh, I'm seeing it. I'm starting to see it. Yeah. All right, cool. Imagine with the hair. I put on my fat suit. I just put it on over my my sports bra here. So I'm getting ready to, I got a couple more things to do. I'm gonna put on some mascara right here. I put on a little lipstick off camera. I did my eyebrows, just put brown on my eyebrows. Not a lot of makeup, you know, once you got the face on, if you're gonna do the face. But I recommend, you know, just, there's not time to order the mask anymore because Halloween is this weekend. So what's Monday, isn't it? I think Halloween is Monday. Actual Halloween, but all the parties are this weekend, right? So you won't have time to order anything online. I'm wondering if I should have put a little, like a brown, I might put a little brown eyeshadow on. But yeah, just use your normal face. Should be fine. Just learn how to do a little bit of effects as far as the older, making you look older. And there's plenty of that online for you to look at. So yeah, let me just do a little bit of brown eyeshadow here. And I went crazy on my last ghost tour. I was a witch, so I have a lot of, I was a purple and black witch. So I have all this purple on my thing now. Anyway, I'm just gonna put a little bit. I actually don't think that's brown. I think it's like a lavender, but I think it'll work. Just a little bit to warm the eyes a little. Any color, gray. I think this is like a lavender. Gray, lavender, brown. Anything you have. Just kind of give a little warmth to the eyes. And let's see what it looks like with the glasses. I'll never look like Robin Williams, but it's a pretty good effort, I think. So let's go get dressed. Hello! All dressed and ready for photos. Let's do this. you so much for joining me again today. I hope you loved this look. It was definitely a first for me. This would be a great look for, like I said, a man, a woman. Either way, it's classic. And as long as you kind of get the hair right, you got the clothes kind of right, everybody's gonna know who you're doing. So it's a fun one. I have not seen it ever when I've been out. Maybe you can go wow everyone this year in your Mrs. Doubtfire costume. That does it for today's episode. If you haven't already, please remember to like, subscribe, and share the video. It really does help the channel. It helps me out. And I've only been doing this for a year. I'm really just getting started. I'm going to be doing costumes all year round again next year, and I've got a lot of cool cemeteries and haunted videos coming up as well. I'll see you next time. Happy Halloween!